You want a decaf, right?
Yes, obviously.
This is what happens at 6:30 in the morning. This one. Oh shit!
That too.
That too.
We're gonna try and keep this very kind of like open. Mastermind wanting to talk around. We'll do quick introductions just in case.
Jim Hill, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, realtor in residence coach with Ylopo. You probably see me on office hours every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, helping clients, doing individual coaching for Ylopo clients. Always happy to help. Reach out to me if you ever have any questions.
Awesome. Gabe Cordova, GM over at Maverick, and then the Director of Database and Lead Management for Robert Slack. So I think most of you probably are familiar with Maverick or heard about it. And then my job within Robert Slack is basically managing 1.9 million leads. All the tech that touches it, and then how we're working on converting it with our agents and stuff. So blessed to kind of get to work on tech and then work with it, with the agents and all that, and kind of bring back best practices and stuff that we're doing. So what I'd love to do really quick, and this doesn't have to be a whole background story, just real quick, who you are and where you're from. And I'd love to know if you're like a team or single agent.
Yes, Jack Blair. We're part of True Advantage Team MaverickRE Realtor. We're in York, Pennsylvania, cover the Maryland, northern Maryland markets. Been with Ylopo about 5 years. It's been a great experience for us and super grateful to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for making it nice and early.
I'm Sarah Kane. I'm the Director of Operations for this team.
Awesome. What was your market? Sorry.
York, Pennsylvania. So South Central Pennsylvania, Northern Maryland.
Okay.
Those.
Keith Jackson. I've been with EXP Realty. I guess we're a married team.
Okay.
Wait, not anymore.
What part?
It's early. I
What part?
haven't early. And we've been with Ylopo for what? 5 years. So very happy. And we cover DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Nice.
Kelly Jackson, and I guess I'm married.
Unsure now.
Yeah, we've had a great experience, and we also, our expansion team is also with Ylopo in Houston. So,
Okay.
yes.
I'm Missy McSweeney. I'm from the Metro Detroit area, so Novi, Michigan. And I recently switched brokerages with Redefine Real Estate. We're a small boutique brokerage that actually is using Ylopo. So I was like, whoa, because I hadn't used that before. So I'm very excited to get to this.
Lori Hill. I am in the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. I'm with Jim. We're with LPT Realty.
Deborah Beagle, Nashville, Tennessee. I'm CEO and co-owner with Gary Ashton, Ashton Real Estate Group, Remax Advantage. Long-time Maverick Ylopo partners.
So I forgot to say 3 years, Ylopo. Oops.
Too many years. Lots of years for us.
Rebecca Zimmerman, Daytona Beach, Remax, partners with Deborah. We've been Ylopo for quite a long time as well. So, and we're venturing into Maverick. We're very excited.
Awesome.
I'm Nikki Rainey. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, and my company is Helping Realty. I have a female real estate team and love dealing with Ylopo.
Jennifer Stats. I'm kind of wonky. I'm not an agent, but I run a bunch of different teams that use Ylopo. And I'm in Colorado Springs.
I'm Tamara Supis. I'm from Fort Collins, Colorado. I work kind of the northern Colorado region. I'm with the group real estate, and I don't use any of these things.
It's all right. You're still welcome. You're still family.
I'm Elizabeth Schmidt. I'm also in northern Colorado, Denver, on up to the border. And I'm just learning about Ylopo.
Okay.
Awesome.
Darren Dowling with Beyond Realty in Sarasota, which is an hour south of Tampa. No one knows where it is on the map. Yes.
Jamie Crane, Sales Manager at Ylopo.
I'm John Ramey. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. Nikki, I'm an undercover agent. Such an all-female team, but I do the operations for the team.
Awesome. Welcome to say.
I'm Cheyenne Dickinson. We're Willamette Valley in Oregon, and we've been with Ylopo since 2021, and I'm just a lead agent on the team.
Tosh Dickinson, Willamette Properties Group, Western Oregon. We've been with Ylopo since 2021, and Maverick.
Hi,
Amy Patternite. With my partner Ben Garrison, we lead the Good Life Group at Coldwell Banker in Maplewood, New Jersey, a suburb of New York City. and I am one of probably the earliest adopters of Ylopo. I've been with them since 2018.
Ben Garrison, partner with Amy at the Good Life Group, and grateful because she's an expert.
Love it.
I'm Jeff Broger, Director of Marketing for Maverick and Ylopo.
Love it. Awesome, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I'm a little hurt. How many? So most Ylopo? Who's Ylopo?
Yeah, Ylopo.
Mostly Ylopo. All right, where am I Maverick? Come on. A few. All right, hopefully a few more. One of the newest probably Maverick members, Rebecca. And then who has both? Right down for just a couple. Awesome. All right, what I'd love to start off with, again, Mastermind, sharing, right, there's plenty to go around. I'd love to hear, anybody have any, like, the solid nuggets from yesterday? I know you were talking about one, so yeah, you on the spot. Sure.
Marketing is the competitive advantage, Tom said, right? So the lasagna analogy, right? And I think that's where the whole Ylopo thing comes into play, because Ylopo has layers of marketing for you, right? So anything else that of those layers that you could share that you use?
AI. AI is
Like in what
so
way?
fantastic. Well, like we're all here, right? And so AI is still working in the background, reaching out to people, either by phone or text. And it's a great tool because many times people they don't want to talk to people, and they will talk to AI and text. And you get a lot of information out of them.
So let's say an AI, because obviously we heard it a lot yesterday. We're going to hear it a lot more today. So we'll stay in that vein. So AI text. Who else is using AI text? And is there okay? So what I want to ask, so again, Mastermind, this is a safe place. We all have areas of improvement, areas of excelling. I'd love to hear who feels like they're using it at a high level and how are you using it. There's one thing I think to say I've got it, but I'd love to hear just strategies of how we're using it at a higher level.
So I have ChatGPT that I will query for different ideas. Once I have an idea for a video or social media post, I'll ask it to create a script. And within 5 minutes, I have a refined script. I copy it and I paste it into a tool called Captions. Captions then scrolls it like a teleprompter. And I will record myself taking this video, and Captions then will overlay it with AI. It will put the captions on the screen. It will then interject different pictures, different graphics, just bells and whistles. And within 5 minutes, I have a social media ad ready to publish on Facebook or Instagram.
Nice.
How many people take over their AI text conversations, actually? Do you have templates that you use and follow up also your CRM that you use along with that AI? Yeah.
That's where I'd love to go deeper. You're nodding yes. So I'd love to go deeper because this is actually, I want to share something too. So how are you doing that?
So when AI is going out, chat in, and we do, and this is, like I said, I've just moved over to this brokerage. I was 13 years with a different brokerage, and this one I moved over specifically because it's very tech fast forward. And so I'm learning how to use Follow Up Boss and the Ylopo, and so we already have templates that are in there, and so whenever I interject, I can just come in and like push in let's just say there is a text about a house. I can just add in 123 Main Street and boom, continue on the conversation and do everything else I need to do. So I'm like still baby newbie with it, but it has completely changed the way I'm doing my business.
I love. Is anybody else taking the time to build in the templates into Follow Up Boss? Because there's a big integration where you can get into the drop down. So now you can do it right from Follow Up Boss. Right before you had to click on the link, go into Ylopo and all that, but now it's right in Follow Up Boss, which gives you the access to those templates. So who's gone in and created actual responses to take over AI conversations? So if you haven't, that is something literally save you so much time, because I've studied this and studied this, you know this. There's about 20 common responses that requires your engagement, right? Still on the market, or yes, I'd like more information, or a couple of my favorite that I think is probably getting dropped in everybody's database in here is on hold, no longer looking. Everybody's like, I don't do those. If you just put in those templates so it's quick and easy, when you say on hold, is it because you've already purchased or decided to wait?
Yeah.
Or when you say no longer looking, did you already find something, or did you guys decide to wait till a later time? You would be shocked how many of those, especially if we look back 6, 12 months, either no inventory or what else changed to put them on hold. Interest rates, right? So if you have those templates, what's really nice is you can go in there, and so on mine, when you hit templates, it just there's a folder, it says AI templates, right? So if I go in there, it's no longer looking, on hold, decided to wait. If you just have the title on there, as soon as you do it, it puts their name in, it's literally the response that's done that. And if you guys, I don't know who would be the best person, I've typed out all of these templates.
I have a link to all of them. You reach out to me or Lexi,
yeah.
Right?
You guys can snap.
We can send you that. You can put that together about a year or so.
Yeah, what was your name? Elizabeth. So I also love what Elizabeth's saying. I know you're not on my local yet, but then pairing what's been done as far as you don't have those, if you don't like mine, you're not going to have my feelings, but then taking ChatGPT, copy that conversation that's been back and forth, including, this is a tip. You know, Raya's going to be like, text, and then there's a response, right? You guys have all seen that in there? Yeah. Copy all of those, including their response back and forth, paste it into ChatGPT, ask for the best response. And it'll give you some scenarios.
Actually, you can take a screenshot of it and just throw the screenshot into ChatGPT and then ask it for the best response.
I'm lazy because then my desktop looks crazy with screenshots. Either one works, but I love that you can layer that in with Raya. So if you don't have mine or if you don't like them, you want a different version, then just copy those, throw it in there and say, how should I respond to start a conversation? Or how should I respond to set an appointment? It'll give those to you. But big tip is get those templates created in there, leveraging AI. So just, you guys aren't going to be able to see this, so I'm going to have you look at it. Can you see this? So these are the dates, right? Starting at the 1st, 11th, 8th, all the dates. These are all appointments. All I did, here's where they came from. All I did is I put a VA constantly monitoring his entire job, $6 an hour. He's got the templates. If he doesn't know the answer, it doesn't fit, he pastes it into ChatGPT. He is obsessed. His entire job is every minute just responding to AI, and it's leading to 2-3 appointments a day. Right now, it's a bigger database on there, but I promise you it's there. So I love that we've gone there, but it's how are we leveraging the different parts of that, going back to what Jim said, the layer of a lasagna in our business, just to make sure that we're doing that, because it's constantly working in the background.
Another thing Tom said was, how fast do we execute? And with the AI text and AI voice, I mean, I'm not worried about speed to lead at all, right, anymore. I mean, I don't know how you guys all feel about that. Anybody actually not worry about the taking over a conversation and just letting it go, right?
I feel like I have to jump in because sometimes there's like funky responses. Like even yesterday, I had to jump in when Raya, we call her Jordan, asked, do you currently like own or rent? And they said something like, well, like I currently have a rental, or said it in a way. And since we don't do rentals, they replied, oh, sorry, we don't handle rentals. And I was like, fuck. So I had to like jump back in. I said, so sorry, I misunderstood. And then I just like took over the conversation. But sometimes I have had little glitches along the way where I have to like, jump in. But I always, I think Barry Jenkins always said, you just gotta be like, hey, so sorry, but my assistant just got like back from lunch and mixed it up, or just like some fakakta response that,
I think it's Livia. Livia is the queen of just an apology, right? An apology, and I think it's a great one. So even when it goes wrong, and it's going to happen, whether it's in text or as we're doing more and more calls, power of an apology. Hey, what I love to pair the sorry with is dropping the ball. So, hey, so sorry, I misunderstood. So we're not dropping the ball on our end. Would you be, or is this? So it works. It does go crazy sometimes. I'm a huge fan though, or believer, and we're going to miss more opportunities by not texting and not saying the wrong thing than the other way. So just grabbing those opportunities. So so there's one layer, and I love the whole layer thing. What other things in your business are you guys doing right now that you tend to working?
So on the same topic as that, if we have things that are working for us, and like Raya's answering in a different way, how can we get it to you say, hey, this really works better than maybe what Raya's saying? If we have a suggestion, is there a way to like give y'all
suggestion on the scripting?
Yeah.
On there?
Yeah.
I think, Lex, I know you're more on the map side now, but suggestion on scripting, they can just send, isn't there a certain email to send in suggestions for the scripting on Raya to get updated?
Yeah, there's Raya.
We'll get it. We'll send it out to the group so you guys have it. But yeah,
real low for us is when the client says, "Hey, we've already bought a house," what Ryan typically says, "Congratulations, stay in touch," or something to that effect. What we say is, "Congratulations, where did you buy?" And 50% of the time they give their address and we put it into a seller report, and they start getting it. And so my suggestion would be, if y'all can tweak it to where they say something like that, they say that response, but also y'all's system kicks in and finds the address for us and starts sending us a report automatically. Because I know y'all have the kind of power now to find addresses and stuff too. But I
like that. I like it. Love it. Anything else AI related? I mean, this is probably the biggest topic that's here that you guys are using in your business.
I think one of the slides was it's completely pointless being ranked or number one on Google if you're not searchable on AI. So what I've been doing is having AI generate about 6 months worth of blogs, all community information, developments, this, that, and the other. Asked it for all the metadata, and then I've got my VA pushing out all those blogs, so I'm searchable when people are like best realtor in insert city, my name comes up, and leveraging Reddit because ChatGPT and all of those are actually scouring info on Reddit. So I've
Are you
got.
guys catching that?
Yeah, this is a really big point.
Yeah, here. I think this is an awesome one. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Sorry,
I
guys, didn't know
This is
you were
what I love
going to
about
get on
Mastermind.
stage.
This is what I love about
Not
Mastermind
planned,
right
I
here.
promise.
Yeah, here we go. Let's start that over.
So using ChatGPT to create like 6 months worth of blogs, right? Because it can just push out 6 months worth of blogs in a couple minutes. Community, development, what's happening, this kind of stuff. History, but you have to ask for the metadata, right? So then when
Do you have to ask for it with an accent also?
Right, yeah. It'll help a lot. I changed their accent as well. And then basically with the metadata, having my VA upload all those blogs like a couple days a week, once a week, just passing it out.
Where are you uploading them to?
So that will go on my website, right? And then
Is that sorry, I'm going to go deep here. So is that on your Ylopo branded site, on a different branded site?
That's on a different branded site, and then equally having my VA have about 4 different Reddit accounts.
Okay.
So it'll be like an anonymous, because you don't actually have your own name on Reddit. It's like, hey, I'm looking to move to Sarasota. This is me asking these questions, right? But just anonymously. I'm looking to buy a house in Sarasota. Can anyone recommend an agent? And then there'll be other people, like regular users will recommend their person. Yeah. 3 accounts, which my VA just logged in and out of and puts my name down. So I'll come up most consistently on that thread. Awesome. And then, again, that helps when people search for best agent in insert city.
And you're not writing it. You're not writing it. You're just doing it all through AI through ChatGPT.
Yeah, the blogs are all ChatGPT'd, and then my VA is the one punching in on Reddit.
That's great. I've started doing that very similar thing.
Yeah.
Right, but I also created an events page actually on my website, so local events, and I can plug those events into my Google Business profile also.
Yep.
Right, so it's not just events like open houses. It's events happening in the area. You know, state fairs coming to town. I have an article in my events page, and then also my Google Business profile. It's an event, and if people are looking for the event, there's a good chance I'm also coming up in the search. I love the Reddit. I just started doing that, but man, that's a great take.
I love that, John. I know you probably have something to add here. Go ahead.
I have a comment on Reddit. So,
how does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. So, about 30 to 40% of generative search is pulled from Reddit. So, generative search is when people use ChatGPT like Google, and a lot of people using ChatGPT like Google, or other search engines, or other AIs, I should say, Perplexity, etc. Many of the search results are pulled from Reddit, 30 to 40%. So if you're doing SEO in any meaningful way for your real estate business, having a Reddit strategy like that, especially with multiple accounts that have account history, because Reddit is where people call BS. They'll click into the account and see if it's the first post ever. And if it's the first post ever, they write it off, scam, right? But if it has account history, like you've had these 4 accounts for 6 months, and there's all these posts, and then they recommend you as an agent, when they click in, there's this account history, they're like, okay, maybe. So that's benefiting you on Reddit, but when generative search is going out to all these different sources and looking for the best agent in, what is it, Sarasota? It's referencing Reddit and seeing his team name dozens of times. It's highly likely it'll be one of those top 3 suggested in generative search, which is a big new area for us to be showing that.
Google search is almost pointless, or will be pointless.
And even Google search with Gemini shows generative search at the top now.
Yeah, but you know, even on Gemini, it's pushing out versus on the ranking, completely different names and
Yes.
information on
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
So, and one of the ideas too, so I was asking about where you're posting it as well. So, one of the things you're paying for that you could possibly add that to is if you've got multiple sites, which I think a lot of people have multiple sites, is get with your CSM on the Ylopo site because it has the whole blog section itself and you can add your own to it. So that way they're in multiple spots. And then those are the links that you can also have being sending out directly through Ylopo, through your templates, that bring them right back to that search site. So you can have them on both quite easily. It's all templated out and the searchable on there as well.
100%.
I love that one. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great.
Good nugget. Good nugget.
Knew that was going to happen.
It is. Hillandhills.com, HILLN, HILLS.com. Also, I've enhanced the communities page, also using metadata and Google Business Profile, for my Google Business Profile. And then also, Ylopo does a great job of adding 2 blogs to your website all the time, right? You may want to go in also and edit those and put some key local terms into it, actually, and create your own blogs.
Or comment on them, too.
Okay.
Right? You can put comments on there and everything.
Yep. So on top of that, actually, if you ever read the book, They Ask You Answer. It's great for what people are asking real estate questions constantly, and they don't always get the answer. Like, what does it cost to sell my home, right? And so, if they're typing that in, there's a good chance that my blog post is going to come up. And you check that GPT right there. Love it.
So Gabe, I just wanted to follow up on what you were saying. So we've been doing the Jason Pantana AI Academy, and one amazing takeaway, and I know this works because I did it yesterday in real time when he was talking about it. There's a website called Fast Expert, and everybody needs to get a profile on it and bolster it up because ChatGPT, they all pull from it. And Yelp for some reason.
Yep.
I just kind of dismissed Yelp as restaurants and whatever. No. So I have to start getting in with Yelp. I have a ton of Google reviews, but it doesn't matter. The Fast Expert, somehow or another, ChatGPT takes that as gospel. So so we are the #1 team in our office at Coldwell Banker in Maplewood, New Jersey. But so what? There's a lot of big agents in our town. And when I typed in yesterday, when Jason was saying in real time, if you type in who is the #1 agent, who's the #1 listing agent in your market, I started this a month ago. I freaking came up. I almost jaw dropped. I was like, I can't believe it. Yes, we do a lot of business, but so do a lot of other people, and there could have been a lot of other people that came up. So, Fast Expert and Yelp were Jason's 2 major things to make sure to get on, and I'm definitely going to do some more Reddit as well.
Awesome.
Anybody else?
We're using Maverick's, call grading and the AI training a lot. For agents, they'll do it on their way to listing appointments and stuff to call the thing. But then we're using ChatGPT. We have some newer agents that are struggling, and we'll put whatever problems they're having into ChatGPT and have it create custom role play scripts to work on those.
So problems being objections, things like that.
Objections or just over talkers, things like that. Yeah.
Anybody else calling into the AI coach and using it? A couple. I know we're just getting started. One of the things that we're doing right now, I was shocked when I went in listening to phone calls for our listing agents. Right, so our listing inventory has gone sky high. We started losing more listings than we've ever seen. Right, expiring. And I started noticing many of them didn't have a freaking price reduction, not one. And I started looking at these agents. A lot have been licensed less than 5-6 years. Started thinking they've probably never had to ask this for a price reduction. And so that's one of the new personas. I don't know if you guys have been using that. I have played with it, and she is a tough cookie to get that price reduction. But I think that's one of the big things, which was going to lead to the next section. Something we're doing now that we haven't done is a lot more role play. So Slack in general, we hadn't done a whole lot as a team, and we're very much focused on role playing specifically on price reductions. I think we're carrying over 500 listings right now. Most of those have not had a price reduction, and the agents are just not comfortable. It was cringing, listening to some of these calls. You could tell that was their mission on the call, and they just never got there. So something we're doing now is a lot more role playing, but there's way more personas on there. Between the price reduction, FISBO, sphere, right? I know Tom Ferry's big about working your sphere and reaching out. There's a whole persona in there and getting comfortable talking to your SOI about now being in real estate. right? So any of you that have Maverick that are not in there using that part of the AI, let alone is it's in there grading everything, right? And telling you what the objections are. Do you know how to pull up the objections? Yeah. Too? Okay, perfect. We'll actually tell you all the objections it's getting out of agents are getting out of follow bots. But role playing those new personas, expired, FISBO, SOI, price reductions are critical.
Yeah, we pull those, the most common objections, and then we do a group role play every week, pretty much just pull those objections out, like this is what we've been hearing, and focusing on those.
Who else is role playing? Couple. Who else thinks they should be role playing? That's a lot more. So down that way, one of the questions, did you guys get the survey by chance? For some reason, there was a survey that went out with a bunch of questions. You guys get it? A couple? Okay. So one of them that was on there is, what are you doing right now in this market that you wish you'd been started 6 months ago or a year ago to prepare for it? So for us, a lot of it was preparing, role-playing more, preparing for price reductions. It was definitely something I wish we'd been doing a lot sooner to prepare for that. We fell behind and lost way too many listings because of it. I'm just curious, anything anybody's doing right now they wish they'd started sooner? It's okay.
AI. I think there's more and more AI.
Who's afraid of AI right now? Is this intimidating a little bit?
And excited.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many different AIs, right? So it's becoming almost overwhelming. I love that Tom shared his list of the AIs that you should use, right? Because it's a sea of AI, and so what works, and so that's one of my biggest takeaways from yesterday was those AI.
One thing we've started doing with our team that's given our sellers more confidence is we do a media day. So I have a media day.
Oh, okay.
So our team will go to the listing and all of us will take video of each other of the listing. We'll all post it. And you can do this if you're in a company and you don't have a team. Just invite another person to go with the listing for you. And we do it weekly. We do it Wednesday at noon, media day. We plan it in advance with the seller. And it makes them feel like you're doing something. You know, we've got these 10 agents. We've got 4 agents. And all of them are posting on their social media about my listing, about my house. And that's given some consumer confidence, which is really what's needed.
Yeah.
I would say doing more video in general. My coach challenged me to put up a video a day and run the video for both of us. It's tough, but using AI to help speed that up. I got a lot of good tips yesterday. Expecting to get more today, but not just the house, but the neighborhood. So being a resource for the neighborhood, not just the house. So the neighbors that you might touch with that video will say he knows the neighborhood or they know the neighborhood. Let's give them a call. So not just the house, but expanding it to the neighborhood and just making that all part of it and breaking it up into bits. So spreading it out over the week using whatever AI source you need, the Opus clips or something to take that long form video and just throw it in there and get segments so you can put something up every day. And just maximize.
I love that. And who wouldn't listen, like have ChatGPT do an overview, whatever the video is, and who would not listen to Keith?
His voice
talking about like just reading that. I've been listening to that the whole time. Like, man,
use your assets, right?
Yeah. Just honestly, I feel like you should every day you should have once a week you should have like a slow jam.
Slow jams with Keith.
It's so soothing.
Can I give some tips on video? Okay.
Yeah.
So I pumped out tons of video. Basically, the way to be most efficient is to do it very similar to how they're doing listing jams. Like they're all focusing on one thing. Every Friday at noon, for example, just do like 2 to 4 hours of video. Just every single week. Just do it. And then send it to an editor. That will give you could do this literally once a month and it will give you a month of content. But if you did it every week, you'd have so much content and it would take you literally just 2 to 4 hours of actual shooting. And then you have a machine, you have to build it first, right? But you work with the editor a lot in the beginning. And then at the end of it, you literally just shoot it, they leave, and then they have all this raw content that they then plug into Opus Clip or wherever else. Opus Clip can caption things, it can take long form video, short form, and schedule on social media. It's only like $29 a month. That's one of my favorite AI caption and post scheduling tools. I think it's super sticky because it also schedules to social. So it replaces like a Hootsuite or a Buffer as well.
So if you want to really pump out high volume of video, commit to 1 day a week, or if you can't do that, 1 day a month, 2 to 4 hours. And literally that amount of raw video could be cut, copied, repurposed, pasted for 30 days, easily. And then, the next step is then you put captions on it and you schedule it. But there should be at least one scheduled post every day on your socials. And then you can go create like a new organic one and a story, but you have a baseline of content. I like to create baselines where like no matter what, something's gonna post. And then if I have like a new listing or something else, something very specific to talk about, cool, go create something new, go live, whatever. But every day there's a post. So hopefully that helps.
How do you feel about using a green screen for those?
I love green screen.
Right, so like what Keith was saying, he could literally then make videos and put pictures of the neighborhoods behind him.
Yeah.
Right? Right? And
So-
that would speed up your videos.
And that goes to content types and things like that, which I can go into. I don't want to take too much time.
No, you're good. No, I love more video. So who else? What things are changing now or wanting to do or you have done?
Actually, I just want to comment on the fear of using AI, and Jim said, oh, there's so many, it's overwhelming. And I look at it like social media. They said the same thing when all the different platforms started coming out. They said, choose one and use it until you get to know. So I would say that would be, and that's from me myself, because Jim does a lot of our stuff for our marketing, like the social media and stuff. So it's something I need to work on more myself. So I would say just choose one and play with it, because it's here to stay. I mean, we all got to learn it. Something.
If you had to
There'll be
choose-
more. There'll be something else you watch.
If you had to choose one, which would it be? One social media account to post on, to own, to like have a lot of followers on. What would it be?
MySpace.
Facebook? Facebook, raise your hand. Facebook? Facebook? Instagram? Everyone? YouTube? Okay, a couple YouTube, TikTok? He's on all of them.
Yeah, you're gonna pick me up.
That's all right. I'm on all of them.
He also doesn't know if he's married. He'll be good.
By far most on everyone values Instagram.
Yeah.
I would say also LinkedIn's a sleeper.
Interesting.
Lots of professionals on there. I think it's underutilized platform.
And Jamie, good point to that is the blogs we were talking about. When you create those blogs answering questions or informative, post them on LinkedIn because it's more professional, right? And I'm just providing information to people on LinkedIn on a consistent basis.
Answer the public.
Use what?
Answer the public.
Answer the public. Jason Pantana was talking about it. I don't know. It's like it's way beyond what I saw all the data. I saw it was a new thing that he would that's where I actually ask him about it. But
I don't know, Jason kind of valued that one, answer the public. I just wasn't sure if anyone.
I think in terms of like cataloging the most searched terms, or for like a town or a community, and then using that to create online content.
100%. I do that. I have literally a notepad with tons of keywords that I can just copy and paste into, also putting it right into the photograph. Geotagging a photograph, just paste it in there with the location, a small blurb, download it, and I use that in my Google Business Profile. If I'm using a picture, I geotag everything. They say it makes a small difference, but I've heard other people say it does make a bigger difference than you would think. So it takes about 2 minutes to do, so why not do it?
We're only got a couple more minutes. I wanted to throw one question out, especially, are we mostly team leads in here? Who's solo agent? A couple solo agents? So be a little bit more team specific, but I'd love to know what are some of the biggest pains, or what's the biggest pain right now you have as a team lead managing the team? I'd love to know, what are we feeling as far as the pain points right now that we'd love help with?
Yeah, getting all on board with the tech and following the procedures that we've established.
So adoption right
yes.
now.
Yep.
Are you finding one side or the other, like, because you're both Ylopo and Maverick, are you finding adoption more on one side versus the other, or?
Maverick was pretty easy because they fell in line pretty quickly.
Okay.
That there wasn't an option, but the Ylopo, getting them to use push listings consistently and those kind of tips, that's been tough.
Okay, so adoption. Anybody else? Everybody else has perfect teams, no pains whatsoever. Liars.
One thing we're struggling with getting a listing, a lot of times the sellers will want to price it high,
Okay.
And if you say you're gonna price it lower, you lose on the listing appointment. So do you agree to price it higher, agree with the seller, win the listing and talk price reductions? Or do you just tell them like it is, this is what the price is, and then you maybe lose the listing appointment? Where all of our team is struggling with that with our
There's a way around that actually, and we just started implementing it. Write directly in the exclusive right to sell in the notes the dates of the price reductions and have them initial it in the contract.
So,
right?
Deborah, I see you nodding, so I was nodding too. You guys doing the same thing?
I mean, if you did it, and because in our market, we're in that, I love this term brackish market, because you got sellers thinking this, buyers thinking over there. So, and again, sometimes it depends on how strong the listing looks, but we'll take it high, but with set after 10 days or 14 days, we're adjusting the price down and putting it in the listing agreement. Yeah.
We're doing the same thing, and it was. I'm going to go back now to adoption. There's a little bit of the listing agent like, you want me to what? It's like basically it's a rider and addendum with ours as well, and it's our pricing strategy. This is part of the listing appointment. It's the strategy. Here's where we're at. We know it's a range. The market's going to dictate where it's at, and I think every seller and agent knows there's like a range, a high and low. But same thing, we're putting in the reductions. So this is going to be our go live date, and we're doing as it goes. Now, I know not every state allows that. I've had some that don't. You can still have a strategy that you have designed, may not be part of your listing agreement, but this is now part of your weekly check-ins. Like, hey, here's where we are in our strategy. It looks like next week we might be due. Here's what I'm going to be doing in the meantime, right? This is where I think it's really important to be using the listing rockets, anything to be showing them what you're doing though, because a common objection is, well, why you're not even going to try as hard here? This is going to be easier. Well, no. This is what I'm going to do the entire time. Each week I'm going to show you how many views I've got, how many clicks. So using something, whether it's a listing rocket or not, to show them what you're doing, because they see value in what they see and touch.
That's right.
So those reports are there to help you. But if you show them an old one on the listing appointment, it's going to be much easier. It's just a mindset to get those preset price reductions up front.
Yep.
And I agree with all that, and also I would always say tell them like it is, and we also show them when we do our comps. We show them, well, this is what's active, so you want to make sure that they understand this is your competition. So we do both with what's sold. This is what the appraiser's going to look at, and this is what your competition is, and then add all of that in with it all. Because just telling them like it is, it's a range. We don't have a crystal ball, we don't know.
I love it. I know they're getting ready to. Oh, yes.
It's kind of interesting. And the other thing is we're trying to add in new technology and at the rate, the speed of change of technology. You could be working on some technology right here, and then like the next day it's something better and better, and like leading into the listing stuff and where you're doing preset pricing, you'll take it here and have. I mean, AI now you can have it because. If you saw Tom Ferry yesterday, he said one of the top things is communication responsiveness. And our sellers, we know, every Friday we do listing update with all the, and when you look like ChatGPT Pro, this just last week we were looking at that agent assistant in ChatGPT. If you have Team Pro in that, you can have it set to give you data and you can plumb that into your listing. So it's like almost you're over communicating because you're constantly feeding them real-time data. And this is just in the last week stuff we've looked at, because sellers, most agents will get a listing and then they won't communicate because nothing's happening or they don't know what to do. The system could be constantly updating them with the data, which will help you get price adjustments, will help you manage that listing more successfully. But this is like daily stuff. I mean, and how do you think, oh, this is going to be great, and you start to implement it, and then, oh, now here's something more, and here's something more. So staying up on that is.
I think it's a case where I'm a big fan of specialists, right? You have your listing specialist or buyer specialist. But something you said that's critical if you're struggling with price reductions, and I'm going to go back to one of the things that we're working on now. I wish we got better about price reductions, so it's presetting them. But the more communication with the sellers from the agent, and it can be daily, the easier it's going to be. And most agents are defaulting the other, going back to ChatGPT and some of the AI stuff. You can literally run a report and in whatever system, Paragon Matrix you have, export it, throw in ChatGPT, make a case on what's going on for my update this week or today, whatever it is, to send to the seller. It'll take all that and just break it down and just easy to articulate words for them to read and understand. But over communicating on those price reductions, and I think we're just at the beginning of that.
And that's true because we do weekly of not only what's closed, but we're looking at what is going in contract that is comparable and in that zip code. But can you imagine having that agent assistant like in ChatGPT that's just scouring and looking like, okay, nothing went in contract today, boom, just letting you know, or market activities picking up. And again, that will help you with price reduction.
So we're gonna go one step further. So imagine now taking that communication with that seller that you've had, putting it now in a 1-pager or 2-pager, and that becomes part of your listing presentation now. You want to know what I do? Let me show you what I've done. This is my communication. This is my pricing strategy and my commitment to you. Here it is. Here's the listing rocket with how I'm going to report to you. Here's my communication style, and a lot of it's automated. So don't forget what we're doing on our current listings will help us win other listings because they're going to believe what they see and what you've done.
I know this, but I'll take it one step further because we're talking about this. When you get a listing, tracking your own record with listings so you can show sellers, look, you know, we went here because the sellers wanted to, but I recommended this pricing and these were adjustments. Or, you know, when they listened to me at pricing, we got quicker. It can stockpile and track all of that data to give you in your listing presentations. There's just so much that integrating it into your workflow is but it'll help you win and get price reductions, and you have the data to show it.
Remember what Laura said yesterday? What do? You make your case. So that's
you make your case. Yeah, you make your case.
One more, and we gotta get going. We promised them we wouldn't keep you guys after 8.
Yeah, I was gonna stress that as well, just like going to the listing appointment, having the cases not comps mentality to set up whatever comes after. Also, you know, in our market, it's still really strong seller's market despite some signs of anxiety. But there have been a few times where we've lost a listing over, you know, list price, suggested list price. And I think one way to counteract that is to potentially pitch. Well, we can test it as an exclusive. We can bring in, you know, qualified buyers. This way, you get feedback, and you know, if they end up getting an offer at a really high price that they want, great. If not, now they've got feedback to better inform the list price for the MLS.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Thank you guys for showing up. I know we really hope you found value.
Was this valuable?
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Have a great summer.